What is up, YouTube? It's been a while. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about what is intermittent fasting. If you want more information, stay tuned. Jumping right in today's video, we are going to be talking about intermittent fasting. So a few videos ago, I did talk about intermittent fasting briefly, just to say that I did utilize it in my weight loss. At the time, I did mention that I had lost 30 pounds from intermittent fasting. So what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is a time frame in which you choose to fast. So for example, my first fast was a 16-8. So that would be 16 hours of fasting versus an 8 hours of eating window. So yes, it is 8 hours in which I can eat. Doesn't mean that I have to eat for the entire 8 hours. So in an 8 hour window, you can eat during that time frame. So other examples will be any interval that adds up to 24 hours. So for example, there is an 18-6, you fast for 18 hours and you can eat within a 6 hour window. A 24, again, fasting for 20 hours, and then you can eat within a 4 hour window. And there's also an OMAD, but we'll talk about that another time. It doesn't have to be any of those, just as long as it adds up to a number and the ratio being 24 hours. I've heard a lot of things. Sometimes people get deterred because they feel like that is such a long time. Really, it's not. Of course, everyone does not get a full 8 hours of sleep at night, but think about it. If you did get a full 8 hours of sleep, that's 8 hours of your fasting window already taken care of. So of course, sleeping at night, waking up in the morning, in most situations, people who do try a 16-8, not for everyone, but in most situations, they're just really skipping breakfast. Not a big deal. Y'all gonna have to bear with me because I really cannot see. I have my glasses, no contacts today, but with the glasses, it shows so much of the ring light, it's distracting. So bear with me trying to get through this because even though there's no one here, I cannot see. So of course, while intermittent fasting, you wanna make sure that you're eating around the same eating window each day. Really, it should be at the same eating window, but I'm saying around because it's up to you. Whatever works for you, it can be tweaked at any time. Just make sure it's not all over the place. So when I say that, I mean, again, I did the 16-8. I fasted for 16 hours, ate within an 8 hour window. So I stopped eating each night after no later than 8 p.m. So I wasn't a late night eater anyway, but there might have been times that I might eat 9, maybe 9:30, but stopping at 8 o'clock was my main goal, and I would not eat again until 12 o'clock in the afternoon when it was time for me to go to lunch. I chose that time frame because I usually would go to lunch around that time, so it wasn't going to be a real difficult thing for me to try and get adjusted to, just because I was used to going to lunch around that time anyway. So when I say it should be around that time, is there have been times where I may have extended it past 12 to go to 1, or past 1 to even go to 2, just depending on how I felt. And then also there might be times where it's like, okay, I'm hungry now, let me go ahead and eat, and it might be 11 o'clock. Not a big deal if you break your fast, especially if it's not that much of a big time difference in between. But it's just something to consider because nobody's perfect. We definitely set these goals for ourselves and tweak it as you go, as long as it works for your lifestyle, the way that you're functioning every day, as long as you are comfortable with whatever it is that you're doing. So I know I said, if I'm hungry now. To be honest, I'm never really hungry anymore. And I hate to say that because, jumping in cold turkey, all of a sudden, I want to do an intermittent fast. And it was like, okay, well, can I really do this? They say, studies show that the first 4 days are the hardest. And then after that, you're acclimated to this new way of life and you're no longer hungry. And I feel like I was maybe one of the lucky ones that I have never been hungry from day one. So when I did the first few days I was expecting to be hungry and dying for hunger. It just never happened for me. I know others that it have happened to, but for me, I never got to that point. So if you are starting intermittent fasting and you're feeling like you may not be able to make it because you're just so hungry, give it at least to 4 days and see how you feel after that. Technically, after those 4 days, your body gets used to eating at certain times and you're no longer hungry. So when I say I'm never hungry, I'm literally never hungry. In the beginning, when I first started, as soon as it turned 12 o'clock, I was ready to eat. I was hungry. But now I'm not. It's no time frame on it. I just know, okay, when 12 o'clock gets here, I can eat. Most times I do eat because I haven't eaten, but I'm not dying to eat. I'm not hungry. Another question I've been asked often is, can you eat whatever you want to eat while you're fasting? And technically, the answer is yes. But do you want to is the real question. And for me, I would say no. Again, it's up to you however you want to do it. If you feel like it's really difficult for you to just jump in and try and change your way of eating, I definitely understand, but it will give slower results. So, for example, I know I mentioned carbs a few videos ago, and some people may not care too much about carbs and they may eat them whenever. I still eat carbs often, more than I should, more than I want to, but I know for myself, when I eat carbs, those starches that are rice, bread, cake, all that turns into sugar and it literally sits with you. So technically, if your body has not eaten after, I believe it's 12 hours, then it will start breaking down fat initially. So that's why we usually recommend 16 hours versus 8 to start with, because anything less than that is kind of defeating the purpose. Like right at 12 hours, you're just finally getting to that ketosis where your body starts to burn its own fat. So when I say carbs, if the last thing that you eat, for example, I'll use me as an example. I don't eat past 8 p.m. But if the last thing that I ate at 8 p.m. was, I'm being exaggeration, okay, but a loaf of bread. If I ate an entire loaf of bread, okay, that's a horrible example. If I ate spaghetti as my last meal for fasting at 8 p.m., that is literally sitting with me, and that's a whole lot for the body to break down. So after it has finally broken down all this, let's say it takes up to the 12 hours for it to actually break down. At that 12-hour mark, if I decide to eat, I really am not burning anything because I haven't really gotten into ketosis yet. So that's why I say with the 16-8, so I'm at least able to burn those in that 4-hour time window. So let's say that all the carbs and all the food is finally gone and my body is like, now we can burn your body fat at the 12-hour mark. If I start eating at my 16-hour mark, that's 4 hours in which my body is able to eat its own body fat. Sounds nasty, but that's exactly what's happening. I say all that to say that yes, you can still eat the foods that you have been eating, but I would not recommend it. Doesn't mean cut it out forever, just not as an everyday thing. If you do decide that you want to keep eating those foods, the only thing I'll recommend to you is make sure you do it in moderation. You're going to keep hearing me say that over and over for videos to come, but moderation. So when you're in your fasted state, you are still able to drink liquids, but not all liquids. Of course, like I said, we're going to cut out sugar. We want to cut out juice and soda. You don't have to, but while you're fasting, don't do it, okay? So things that will help you on the way that you can drink without breaking your fast, which of course is water. Water has 0 calories. It's not gonna break anything. You can drink water all day long and you'll be perfectly fine. Now, for others, black coffee. I drank black coffee to kind of hold me over because coffee is actually good to help when it comes to hunger. It is a hunger suppressor, and not necessarily to take it as if it's a medication, but most people wake up in the morning and drink coffee anyway. It's just, you can have your coffee, but it has to be black because of course if you add creamer or sugar, it's going to break your fast. All right, so quick update about myself. To date, I have lost a total of 40 pounds. And for me, that is awesome because I know over the years, ever since I've been like 21, started gaining, and it just kept going up and up and up. And even if I lost a pound here or there, it was not anything significant. So for me to finally be going in the opposite direction is like, oh my gosh. At the same time though, with intermittent fasting, because your body is being prompted to burn its own fat, to this day, I have not really done any workout. And I'm not saying that to brag or, to say you shouldn't work out or whatever the case may be. But my point is that intermittent fasting works. Some people may think that it's unhealthy. If you feel that way, by all means, consult your physician or anybody to get checked out before you. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I gotta put my glasses on because I really can't see. Anyway, thanks for stopping by my channel. I hope that this information was useful to you. Like I said, it's just a brief overview of intermittent fasting. More details to come in other videos, but just to start, if you're interested in what intermittent fasting is, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're getting notifications each week. Can't wait to see you. If you have any questions that you want to discuss, leave them in the comments below, and I'll definitely try and make a video about those, or at least discuss it in some manner. But again, thanks for stopping by. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.